Hello everyone, it's your host Jay here with the Over Manga Cast. That time we woke up in a podcast and had to explain manga, our heated adventures over analyzing manga we find interesting. On this episode, we give another revisit to the infamous Chainsaw Man by Tatsuki Fujimoto. So, give it a listen.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Over Manga Cast. My name is Sam, and as always, here at the top of the show, we talk about our familiarity with the franchise. Although if you've been following the show at all, you should understand exactly how much Chainsaw Man we have all read. I suppose the better question is, since the anime came out between now and the last time we read this particular work, you guys seen the anime? I have. Not all of it, just a couple of episodes, but it's really good.
Yeah, I did watch the anime. I'm caught up. Awesome.
Fantastic. Matt, how about you?
I don't watch anime. I am a sophisticated person who only reads books.
All right, and Jacob.
I did not watch the anime. I was too busy finally watching Judges Part 5, but I did have a little bit of time to read at least the first chapter of this section. So
Well, I certainly hope you read more than that for our discussion today.
I mean before we
Gotcha.
put it on the list.
I did that thing where I try to keep up with something and then I fail to, and it gets far ahead of me.
I have a rotating list, and we read an arc of a manga every week. So
It's easy to get lost in the sauce.
I try to make it one chapter of the next thing up per day. That does not actually work out very often.
I do the reading and also keep up to date on Chainsaw Man, so there's just me.
Hey, I'm up to date on Kaiju number 8. So
Well, canonically, I've never read that.
Yeah, that's non-canon to the show. But anyway, starting off, we are now in part 2 of Chainsaw Man. After the bombastic ending to part 1 and the defeat of Makima the Control Devil, we start off not with Denji, but in a school where a class is getting a class pet, Bucky the Chicken Devil.
he's very excited to meet them all.
A headless rotisserie chicken with no feathers and a bow tie.
Does he have no feathers? I thought he did have some plumage there, a little
has
bit on his
feathers.
wings.
Oh,
He has
yeah, it's
feathers
just
on
his
his wings. Yeah.
So I only know this because I looked way too into Bucky to make a plush Bucky to bring to Otakon. He is a chicken with the head cut off, but
Yes.
the top part of the neck is like a rotisserie chicken. It's weird.
Well, clearly not many people have a particular phobia of chickens because Bucky does not seem very powerful or violent. He just speaks in chicken puns.
Devils are inherently violent, as we know. He's just kind of weird, but all right.
And the class will raise him for 3 months, and then they will kill and eat him.
The cluck.
Bucky is very unhappy about.
Aww.
And I know what you're thinking. Obviously, this chicken is now our main character. But no, our actual main character is a misanthropic student, one Asa Mitaka, who is antisocial, hates people, parents killed by a devil. You know how it goes.
Sounds like my backstory.
I mean, Asa's just an average kid that no one understands.
Yep.
Yeah, the class president tries to get her to come out of her shell.
Eh.
Tries to be friendly with her, hang out with her during lunch when she's usually alone on the roof, being a weirdo.
Being that character in a manga.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows it's only acceptable when you're one of 9 out of a harem of girls.
We have a brief montage of Bucky endearing himself to the class and everyone coming to love him. And it is determined by the entire class.
Except for Asa, who is very willing to kill Bucky.
Mm-hmm. Asa abstains from the vote, but the rest of the class decides that they don't want to kill Bucky. They don't want to destroy him. And he is pardoned and allowed to live on as a member of the class. How heartwarming, how delightful. Surely nothing will go wrong.
The teacher is crying because the lesson went better than he could have expected.
These kids truly learned to appreciate life, even the life of a devil. Now come on, kids, let's go to recess.
It's a Fujimoto manga, so you know something bad is about to happen.
You know what? I knew something bad was about to happen. I didn't expect it to be quite so immediate because it is like the next page. The kids are all playing outside. Asa's being antisocial in a corner. The class president tries to get her to come over. Bucky also tries by leaping into her arms, like, come on, come out of your shell and play soccer. And she's like, Bucky even calls her by name, and she's like, wow, someone actually knew my name, even this little devil. Okay, maybe I can make friends. Maybe my jealousy of other people's social abilities is silly, and she trips and falls and lands on Bucky, and he fucking dies.
As graphically as you would expect from Chainsaw Man.
It takes 3 full pages for her to get up from the ground to reveal that, like, it's not like he just got crushed and died. He's split open. His guts are all over her. She is looking down in horror. Everyone is looking at her.
Kind of amazed the way he kind of split open like that. I mean, I'm just thinking about the force. All she did was trip. And
Her entire body weight fell on him.
yeah, but I don't think she's that heavy. I don't know. It just seemed a little too. And the fact that he didn't splat, I don't know.
It's very Looney Tunes, honestly.
Yeah, I'm overthinking this, but it's just like it just didn't make sense. It looks like he was like on an operating table, splayed apart or something, and I'm just like, how?
He is a devil. As we know canonically, they are nothing but viscera.
This is true. But the rest of the class is bawling their eyes out. Asa vomits and passes out.
I mean, it is very traumatic. I mean, they had bonded with this chicken. He was a part of the family, and she killed him.
Mm-hmm.
There's a full 3 months of him being a loving member of the family and finally getting accepted. There's a full movie arc that's then immediately crushed by someone tripping at the wrong thing and accidentally crushing their pet.
Yeah, and specifically, it's the antisocial one who didn't bond with him. As soon as she's like, you know what? I'm gonna give this an earnest try. Splat. It is honestly comical. It's one of those ones that, like, it's so absurd it can't be real.
And yet here we are. Asa is regretting existence.
Mood. I've been there.
Yeah. But, curled up on her bed at home, there's a ring at the door. She goes to check. It's the teacher and the class president. It's like, we're going to go visit Bucky's grave. I'm sure he'll forgive us up in heaven, in hell, whatever.
No, she says heaven, so she's under this weird assumption that Bucky went to heaven, despite the fact objectively they know that's not true, and he is a being that is fueled by human fear.
Actually, that does pose a question. We know about the devil reincarnation cycle of bopping between hell and the human world whenever they die, but does the average public know that? Would that be taught to high schoolers?
I think it must, because you know what? I'm not sure how much information the character who gets powers later on. She mentions the whole fear gives devils power. Oh, no, at the beginning, they're like, people aren't afraid of chickens, so this devil's probably not that strong. So they must know fear of something is proportional to how strong the devil is.
Yeah, they know fear fuels a devil's power, but like this is even almost something that you could argue even with what we the audience know. It's like because, the personality and identity of the devil when they die and go to the other side, that like they come back as a new form. They come back, with a new mind. So it's like, is Bucky's soul like like their
Preserved.
Bucky, does
Who
that
knows?
go to heaven? Which, like, no, it's a Fujimoto manga. No, of course it doesn't. But like that can be like the rationale a grieving person might go through.
Yeah.
We're gonna learn that there's a lot less grief involved in this whole situation than you might expect.
Man, that's very Fujimoto. Is hell is definitely a real place that exists, and you can go there. Heaven doesn't, but the best you could hope for is that the lights just shut off when you die.
Grim. They're going to visit Bucky's grave at night. The class president and the teacher jaywalk. Asa doesn't, leaving them across the street from each other, which is important for Asa because the class president warps into a hideous flesh monster, talking about how she's this annoying goody two shoes, suck up, rule following. Oh, woe is me. Did you know that the teacher apologized to the class on your behalf? Did you know that he loves you? He was the one who told me to befriend you, even though he's been fucking me. And I'm just like, whoa.
So that's another thing that Sam is I don't know how to. I tried to explain this a couple years ago to Matt. In Japan, it's definitely changed, but teacher-student relationships are viewed a little differently.
Or not as
It's still inappropriate, but it's viewed as he's an older guy, he could take care of her. And so it's still creepy and weird, but that's how it was kind of sort of explained to me. Like in the Japanese culture, it's still taboo, but
it's because of the social dynamic of how male female relationships work in a traditional Japanese relationship.
so it's still weird, but what I'm trying to get across is it is a trope of high school girl dating teacher.
I get that. It's still clashed with my personal sensibilities, but
Sam, you could be a teacher in Japan.
The way it's revealed is also very dramatic.
Yes.
Because her back is splitting open into this warped, like, muscle mass, looking like muscular straight out of Hiroaka, as she becomes this giant arm thing with many faces. I made a contract with the Justice Devil to find out how to reach my happy ending with Mr. Tanaka. I need to kill you!
Seems reasonable. We're going to find that the Justice Devil has an interesting view on the concept of justice. To the shock of no one, it's a devil.
It's also when we get revealed that the Justice Devil was the one who planned out tripping her so that she fell and crushed Bucky. This is like 5D chess to get her into this situation.
Because because the joke is someone's justice is different than someone else's justice is different from someone else's justice.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say that's the joke. I'd say that's 100% Justice Devil's whole thing. Is why would someone be afraid of justice? It's like, oh, you're afraid if justice is misappropriated or tilted to be against you, or to is used to justify horrible things.
That's what the fear of justice is. So it's not like the Justice Devil actually represents justice. It represents people misappropriating justice.
It's like you could think oh, the Chicken Devil. People aren't afraid of chickens attacking them. Kind of, they're afraid of getting sick from properly prepared chicken. Maybe so. Maybe it's like a disease carrier or something. I don't know. Bucky's just cute and adorable and running around.
Like a chicken with his head cut off.
Or it could even be Bucky has his head cut off. That it could be some sort of weird fear of the meat processing industry. I don't know. Anyway, Asa fucking dies.
Head cut open.
Yep.
Split like a walnut.
Yeah. There's this great page of the slow motion, the claws coming in, tearing her face open, her face splitting and falling apart, and her internal monologue of being like, oh,
I'm really dying right now.
I wasn't responsible for Bucky dying. The class president was just as much of a jealous weirdo as I was. This has to be what everybody's like. I'm not I wasn't alone in this pain, despite how I felt. Maybe I should have lived my life a little more selfishly. Actually tried to enjoy it. Just this last second instant of huh, and her removed from its socket, but still like attached to the retinal nerve eyeball, looks up and sees a little owl thing on the cross.
Murder Furby going like, "Hey, you want to make a deal?"
Murder Furby, that's definitely a devil.
The Furby devil.
It's very Madoka Magica. Making contracts with me.
Except this is actually good. I said it.
Send your complaints to overmangacast@gmail.com.
But yeah, with that, Asa gets up from dying. She got better.
Proceeds to rip the teacher's head off, drawing out the spinal cord, turning it into a sword.
I'm sorry. This is the most Tatsuki Fujimoto thing.
Yes. And with her new badass scars, turns to the class president
Her
and
new
says,
badass scars that makes me think that she's going to become the surrogate father of an Ainu girl.
She does look like Sugimoto.
And hey, she's immortal too, because she just got up from dying.
Yeah, devil powers. But she turns to the class president and says, "I'm the war devil. Die for my warm-up kill." Yes. This is so cool.
She cuts off the class president's hand, grabs the hand, takes possession of it, and is like, "Well, I'm turning this into a weapon. Have a hand grenade."
Cuts her down with the Tanaka head spinal cord sword. His head is still there, so she puts their lips together so they kiss. There's your happy ending. Throws the grenade, and in a battle straight out of Goodbye Harry, walks away from the viscera and head-laden explosion. Like, holy shit.
This is literally the explosion from Goodbye Harry.
It is!
It's even the same position of the subject character.
Yeah. Oh, I love it so much. But with that thrilling battle over, the War Devil reclines in the bloody meat of her kill and says, "Just you wait, Chainsaw Man. I'll make you vomit up nuclear weapons."
And that was, I think the day this came out, Matt sent that in the Discord.
Yep. I want you to fully understand. I hadn't had Chainsaw Man for 6 months. I'm just like, this is what I got. Was this explosion? I got Bucky the Chicken Devil. I got this girl upset that the teacher she's boning really wants to bone her nerd friend. I got making a contract with the War Devil to come back to life with the power to turn anything into a weapon, all with the motivation of that devil to be, I want to beat the shit out of Genji to punch nuclear weapons out of his stomach so they can exist again. I'm like, gross!
This is what I'm here for!
Peak Chainsaw Man, honestly.
It really is.
Like, what I think is so good about this is you have this entire first chapter. Genji is not in here a single bit, and you do not miss him. It feels like Chainsaw Man without him. And like,
yeah,
it's so good.
I think that very specifically owes to Fujimoto's style in particular, because he has a very particular style, and the fact that this is a supernatural world that has devils in it is all you need. Like, I think if someone else tried to mimic this, it wouldn't work. I really think that says, because it's like, not to say that the world of Chainsaw Man isn't like unique and interesting in its own right, but the thing that makes this so recognizably Chainsaw Man is that Fujimoto touch of like, because like one of the big things is like there's that whole bit about like the fact that Asa wasn't technically responsible for what happened to Bucky, and it's like that's in a way comforting, but it doesn't really change the fact that Bucky's dead, you know. And like it's not an easy answer to, you know, like the situation. Like it doesn't present it like it makes it okay. It's just more context that makes an already unhappy and complicated situation
Slightly more palatable.
Like,
slightly more palatable, but also more complicated anyway. Not better.
yeah, because like Asa doesn't get any relief from that, really. It's the difference between I'm the one responsible for this and it's being blamed on me, from her point of view, are functionally the same thing. Like, it doesn't matter.
Like, she has that instant of, oh, I didn't do it, but that just morphs into more regret as she's dying.
Well, because her whole thing is she didn't care about the moral consequences of this. She cared about the social consequences and whether or not it's her fault or if she's just the one who did it. Unfortunately, no matter what happens, your body is the thing that crushed Bucky.
She's still the scapegoat.
You can't get out of people's perception, which is what she cares about.
Mm-hmm.
At best, it makes you a victim, which is not necessarily better.
No, and I love Asa because she's got that whole Kobeni vibe of like, in another series, you might just be like, oh, poor Asa, everything's going wrong for her. But like, even in this first chapter, you get the vibe of like, things are going bad for her, but like, does she kind of deserve some of this? Like,
Is she bringing this upon herself a little bit?
There are circumstances outside of her control, but like it's about her mentality, which again I think is the thing that Fujimoto does so well.
But the thing is, she's become aware of her mentality.
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that in a lot of ways is kind of what allows her to hit main character status.
The first
Yep.
thing to conquer a problem is to first admit that you have one.
Mm-hmm. But then the next chapter starts, and it reveals it immediately introduces my new favorite character dynamic in this manga. Asa and the War Devil now inhabit the same body.
Oh yoy. They're bestie friends.
Was all of that a dream? No.
War Devil, she'll end up being called Yoru later, so I'm just gonna skip to that. But Yoru looks exactly like Asa, but has the scars from the wound that killed her.
So she's the one who's gonna be a surrogate father to an Ainu girl.
Yes, she will find the hidden gold.
That hidden gold is nuclear weapons. Oh, wait a minute.
It's uranium.
You know what? I could buy that happening in Sugimoto. Happening in
Golden Kamui.
Golden Kamui. I almost said Sakamoto days. I believe that too.
You can also see that happening in Sakamoto days. Fort Knox is full of uranium. Too bad I can make nuclear weapons out of cashier checks.
Anyway, Yoru exists as a hallucination right up until she takes control, at which point, interestingly, Asa's body actually gets the scars, and then Asa's the hallucination.
Well, because how Yoru explains it is Asa is basically brain dead on the entire right half of her brain. I think they specifically mention which side is which, but I forget. But and she's just like, so I've filled up half of it. I've kept like all of like your social memories and stuff on your part. I don't know how human society works, so I need you to like make them sure I'm not the War Devil immediately. And I'm just like, yeah, no, cool.
And if you don't do what I want, then I'll just take over the rest of your brain entirely, and you'll be as good as dead.
At which point Asa, and this conversation actually happens multiple times, at which point Asa responds to that, I'm a Tatsuki Fujimoto protagonist. You think that's a threat? Ha! Once again, mood.
I like how their teacher and class president were found murdered in an alleyway, and the entire class just goes to school the next day, and no one seems to be fazed by that. And I'm like, man, this world's not doing great.
Well, they address that, like with the whole guy who's trying to draw attention to, like, I've drawn a crowd of like however many people. It's
20
just like,
people. From among these 20 people, only 5 of them will live to old age. Yeah, no, I do think that this section does a really good job of doing something that part 1 of Chainsaw Man wasn't particularly interested in, and therefore didn't really
Do a lot of.
do a lot of, which is establish the state of the world. Because like there's the stuff about how terrified everyone is of the gun devil was a pretty but like that was a through line connected to the characters pretty directly. This section does a really good job of making you feel what it's like to live in a world where devils are just a known thing that everybody is aware of.
And
Because
like
that's not
criminals,
that's very
and like criminals will just make contracts with them and suddenly have powers, and like corruption's so easy because magic will just let you have it.
Yeah, it's so rare that you see a situation with like this sort of like magic layer to the world being just out in the open and common public knowledge. And how shitty that is for everyone who lives in this world.
Because I mean, there's a huge pile of flesh there. Obviously, it was a devil attack. Life has to go on.
Which funnily enough is objectively true.
And like you get like the whole thing of like how this city is the most corrupt and like the something ridiculous like 9 out of 10 of the buildings in this city are built illegally. So like you see the scenery and it's like high rises, but then they've got like slums built into the high rises that connect weirdly, and like they're just these entire buildings on top of like office buildings. They're just stacked, and it's just like, how can a city work like this? And it's just like, oh, people are just allowed to do whatever.
Yeah, I actually really like that because it went a long way to explaining the kind of insane like fourth dimensional architecture that we see sometimes, like settings not really making a ton of sense if you think about them too much, that we saw in part 1 and continue to happen throughout part 2. But further proving why I love the Asa Yoru dynamic so much, while they're having their internal argument about going into the school, so you're telling me you'd literally rather die than go back in there? Yes! Another random student goes up and asks if she's okay. Do you need any help getting to the nurse's office? No, no problems here. Please leave me alone. Stop talking to me. Hey, ask him if he knows Chainsaw Man's secret identity. Will you shut up?
It's always fun the conversation with the Phantom and people reacting to it.
And War Devil immediately takes over her body and is like, oh yes, I need to not reveal myself as the War Devil. I'm trying to go incognito here. The second another student is having a social interaction with Asa, takes over body. Hey boy, do you know anything about Chainsaw Man at this school?
I don't know anything specific, but allow me to give you some exposition.
I also love how he just casually kind of like notes to himself, you just gained a bunch of scars on your face. Like,
yes, it's like, what happened to your face?
did any of you guys recognize him?
I thought I did.
I actually didn't.
So
I didn't either.
He's the hunter that you guys didn't remember him in the arc with all the assassins either. He's the guy who kills one of the 3 brothers in the alleyway, then comes in, looks at the third one, and doesn't see him.
What?
Oh, yeah. I never would have caught that if you hadn't mentioned it.
Yeah. Like the guy himself says later on that he was a part of the Assassins arc, and he was part of the team designated to protect Denji, but even then I did not recognize who he was.
But apparently he's a pretty boy.
Yeah. He's a pretty boy with some wacky powers.
Some cute piercings too.
Which is why Yarrow immediately has an idea.
Shall I make you my boyfriend? Asa, in the spirit realm, freaking out.
I love the reaction panel.
Because that's a total normal phrase that humans use.
She tries for like an alluring pose. Actually doesn't do half bad, but all the same, he's like, nah, I'm good. Just bye, walks away.
I just like the insert shot of poor Asa.
I mean, if it had worked, I'd be like, well, then she just showed us all something.
I really like the edits that people have done of this particular page. Hey, how big's that dick? Small, leave me alone. Back in the actual content, Asa is berating Yoru, like, why did you do that? Why did you ask him out? Because if something is mine, I can turn it into a weapon. If he agreed to that and fell for me, that would make him mine, and I could turn him into a weapon. I need to have as many weapons as possible to go to war against Chainsaw Man.
Very logical.
I'm starting to realize the depths of the situation that I'm in right now.
The exposition given was that apparently rumor has it that Chainsaw Man is in disguise at that school and part of the Devil Hunter Club.
At least that's what actually given the fact that it is Pretty Boy that says that and what we learn of his motivations later, he absolutely made up that lie to throw off this weird girl asking him about Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, that does actually make sense.
Because to skip ahead a little bit, we learned that his motivation is to make sure that nobody finds out the connection between Chainsaw Man and Denji. So he must have known Denji wasn't in the Devil Hunter Club and was like, oh yeah, check out the Devil Hunter Club. That'll probably get you killed and therefore stop it and stop poking your nose into this.
Even sicker burn.
Asa, under duress, not really wanting to do it, joins the Devil Hunters school club because that's just a thing they have.
Well, I mean, they're trying to get initiated because in order to be into the club, you actually have to kill a devil.
Which, again, it's what we were talking about earlier about the state of this world. That's f***ed up, right? Teams of high schoolers patrolling for devils?
Yeah. About it, you have like sports. You have kendo, which is actually a martial art.
I mean, do you?
That's true. What if Chainsaw Man ate the kendo devil?
Yeah. But like, it's like also I love how Asa didn't need to do this tryout. She killed a devil just the other day. In front of many witnesses.
Oh, you're right. I thought you were. That's true. She did.
Bucky's dead. Just throw his corpse on.
That's a dead devil right there.
Oh my god, I thought you were referring to the fight at the end of the chapter. You're right.
Right, yeah.
That technically counts.
Yes, but I doubt you could just fall and flop on other devils and just kill them, so I don't think they would count that.
I feel like the
technicalities.
They counted power killing the sea cucumber devil, so
I feel like the Devil Hunter like societies and organizations would take that W. We have such a high turnover rate from people dying in this line of work that we will take anybody.
Do you have a pulse? You're on the team.
But unfortunately for poor Asa, in joining one of the junior Devil Hunter patrol squads, she's teamed up with another girl from her class, and oh boy, it's Pretty Boy again.
And apparently, never mind. This comes a little later.
The team, Pretty Boy says that his name is Yoshida, and the group are introducing themselves. The other girl is Yuko. Asa very shyly gives her name. I'm a huge fan of Chainsaw Man. Are you a fan, Asa? Yeah, I like him about as much as anybody else.
I want to bail.
Please, somebody get me out of here. Bail she does. Unfortunately, when she goes to get her shoes, raw chicken cutlets have been thrown into her locker, which is,
That's a choice.
And yes, an overture to her heinous crime of killing their class pet because she's a monster, apparently.
Objectively, she is a monster.
Yes, but they don't know that at this point. That's not the point.
It's the principle of the thing. So Asa decides that she's just going to walk home barefoot.
Yuko, the girl from the Devil Hunter group, decides that this is BS and goes to give her shoes. And it's like, I ran all the way, I took my shoes off and ran after you, which really hurt my feet. So you've got to be having a real rough time of it right now. Here, take one of my take my shoes.
When Asa refuses, that's when she's like, "Fine, then just take one. That way, only one of each of our feet will be hurting."
Pain is half.
And there's a whole Looney Tunes chase of Asa trying to return the shoe.
Yeah. Which ends up leading all the way back to Yuko's place, which is like most places in this city, grimy and run down. But it's like, ha! We've made it all the way to my house, so I don't need my shoes anymore. So here, have the other one. I
My
seriously
girl
don't
lives
want
in a
your...
garden shed.
Yeah. That was the first thing I noticed.
It's like,
We
seriously,
find-
I don't want your damn shoes. Well, fine, then sell them or throw them away if you can't sell them.
I don't want them. They are yours.
Who in this entire city would even deem to buy sweaty tennis shoes off a high school girl? Nope. Midway through the
Yep.
sentence, I realized
Yep.
I was wrong.
The fact that you're right is what makes it worse.
But as Asa is walking home, we see a little dawning realization on her face of, the milk of human kindness. At which point Yoru appears. So shall we go sell those? What are you, an idiot?
Their dynamic is great.
I love them so much. The hunt for Chainsaw Man continues with our junior devil hunters. Asa and Yuko decide to go patrol the town after school, because that way we can definitely find a devil and also avoid those bullies. Yeah, sure, okay, awesome.
Hirafume has also decided he's not going to be part of this group any further.
Well, I mean, how much older is this guy? Like, we already
He's in
know
high
he's
school.
super tall. Is he in high school or is he
Yes.
like in his like 20s?
Nope, he's a high school.
Do we know what the time skip is?
Like
Maybe a year?
literally 6 months. I think it's not long.
It's not long because Denji is still in school.
Yep, and Kishibe says he's like a high schooler when he's introduced to the team. Hirafume, I will forgive you for not remembering Hirafume. He was introduced with literally 12 other characters.
And then he is barely a part of the arc. He shows up.
He shows up to eliminate another bit character.
Yes. He made a contract with the octopus devil, if that helps you at all.
It does, actually. That explains the tentacle from later on.
I don't need tentacles explained to me.
But anyway, the two girls are bonding during their devil patrol.
Asa and the War Devil have a bit of a heart-to-heart, which goes about as well as you would expect, though this is where we get the name Yoru.
Yeah, Yoru tries to convince her to kill Yuko. Why would I do that? Because you'll feel really guilty about it, which will make her a great weapon.
You make a good point.
I'm not gonna lie, Yoru. This relationship between the two of us seems really one-sided. Yes,
because otherwise you will die. I can just kill you.
Also, I don't think you fully understand. This relationship is incredibly one-sided. Some could say completely one-sided, because you're currently still alive, and I've got nothing. So.
But yes, Asa doesn't kill Yuko quite yet. Much to Yoru's continued annoyance, they go on their patrol. We have the random.
If you wait longer, you'll get closer to her. It'll make you more guilty, and she'll make a better weapon later, I guess.
It's at this point where we get to the street protester that Jake mentioned earlier. Who goes on this tirade about how I've got 20 people here listening to me. 5 of you will die of old age. 5 more will die of illness. 1 in a traffic accident. 1 from homicide. And the rest of you, devils.
That's 7 to 20.
All of you portraying him as some crazy street preacher, but
no, he's being really like trying to like advocate for like, hey, this is our reality, people. Wake up.
He is completely just saying like, hey, No, celebrities do not matter when we have a predatory species eating human beings every single day.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it's framed like he's that crazy doomsday crier when he's actually just right because of the absurd situation that the world is in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that juxtaposition is very intentional because the only way you can describe him, if this was the least bit a realistic world that didn't have magic in it, he would be the whack job with the end is nigh sign.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he's just someone who is pointing out what's wrong with their world.
Which is immediately highlighted as the girls continue their patrol right into an attack by the Bat Devil. I guess he's back.
The Bat Devil never was killed, or is this a separate Bat Devil?
That's a new one.
Yeah. I
Well-
think, which means
Oh,
he
he
must
came
really.
back.
Yeah,
came
he
back.
must really suck because he got killed by Denji and then died in hell and came back again within like a half a year.
That sucks.
Dude's KD ratio is absolutely abysmal.
It's like me.
Oh my god. Jake, it'll get better.
I just need to make people fear me more.
Exactly. They are face first on this devil attack, and you're just like, okay, bad news and more bad news. First off, we can't beat that devil in our current state. And also, I just figured out that when your brain is paralyzed with fear, I can't take over your body. So you're going to listen to what I'm saying, slowly and quietly back away while it's distracted eating those other people. And why are you running, you idiot?
Because I scared.
Yeah. Honestly, understandable.
Can't say a blamer. But as should be expected, this is not going. The running isn't going terribly well because the Bat Devil is huge and is covering tremendous amounts of distance with every weird crawling movement it's got. It's very ugly. Like, it is significantly uglier than last time somehow.
Well, it's not in love with the leech devil. It's lost that. It doesn't need to look pretty anymore.
Oh gosh, that weird love dynamic that was going on. I'm just like, excuse me?
She and Yuko get knocked down by another attack from the devil. Yuko's leg is pierced by a bit of rebar, so she can't run anymore.
She's also very much knocked unconscious.
Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, here's your perfect opportunity. Everyone's distracted by the Bat Devil. Kill her, make her into a weapon. You can win. I know you're not sorry about killing Bucky. You're sorry that you were seen. Now, look, no one's around. Just kill her, and of course, you're picking her up and running. God damn it.
Why are you so human? And like...
Really like Yoru in like the background of the panels, looking all frustrated, like, you fool!
Well, they already said they don't understand humans.
Mm-hmm.
We have the funniest flashback I've ever read.
Oh, poor Asa. She is running for her life, carrying Yuko, and trips on a bit of on a bit of tile. Oh, that's right. I always trip and fall at the most crucial moments. Like that time I knocked over Mom's birthday cake, I face planted in a relay race.
And then the the proper backstory flashback.
Tried to save a cat during a devil attack, tripped and fell, which forced her mom to have to stay behind to pick her up and send her forward. And her mom was hit by a car being thrown around in the devil attack.
Which I want you to know is the exact same way that Superman's dad died in Superman Returns.
Reason why like it's such a trope of like whenever like vehicles are being thrown around, someone's gonna get hit and die.
Reveal you have superpowers. Just let me die. Why?
But she did succeed in saving the cat.
Yep, she saved the cat.
Big mistake.
Which, in hindsight, probably not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but it's something.
Cat looks at her judgmentally whenever she's having her shout outs with she's like, what the hell is wrong with this crazy girl?
Well, no, because you've got the old lady who's just watching her and is just going, "Oh, hey, I know things are bad, but least you saved that cat. And then she remembers her mom helping her with her homework and just bursts into tears, going like, oh no.
Oh, poor kid.
I didn't know. Like, Grandma just said, "Oh, you saved a kitty. That's nice.
Well, she's trying to make her feel better.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have my mom."
I'm
Duh.
just really bad at everything. And I deserve all the bad things that happen to me. I'm like, yeah, Asa.
She's
Yeah.
aware. She is aware.
We get one more flashback to the shoe scene the other day where she's like, look, I know you think you're here to like save me, but I would really rather be bullied than pitied. Thanks. I don't care how you feel. I'm trying to do the right thing, even if it's a mistake. Trying to do the right thing. That's the important part, right?
And then
Sure.
these two idiots bond over the fact they both have the same morality, where good deeds only matter as long as their like heart is in the right place when they do them, not the actual consequences of their actions. And I'm like, stop giving Asa an out.
But Asa gets up and continues running as the flashback has given her a burst of
A burst of staggering forward slowly.
yes, and the Bat Devil's closing in, just about to chomp down on them, and actually does chomp down on them, and then immediately pukes them up again as it is hit full on by another devil being thrown into it at high velocity by the Chainsaw Man.
Title drop.
I've got a theory in two parts here. One, I'm pretty sure the cockroach devil that Denji is fighting right now is the same devil from the end of part 1, where it's just like, oh, there's a devil attacking, and Denji's doing his like Spider-Man pose of taking off his outfit to pull his ripcord. So I think this scene is happening just at the end of part 1, and that's where the stories are reconnecting. And 2, I think because Chainsaw Man only helps girls, he purposely hit the cockroach devil into this bat devil to save those girls. Because that seems like something Denji would do.
That seems like something Denji would do.
Denji's super. Yeah.
I love how it's the cockroach, because like it's not immediately revealed that it's the cockroach devil, but it is this like hulking, bony, skull-faced, multi-armed, like terrifying mass, and you're like, what the fuck could this possibly be? And it's later revealed that's the cockroach devil.
It makes it almost more like reasonable to say, to give it a name, because I didn't know what I was looking at.
Yeah.
It's like,
But the girls are saved, and the battle continues as we are suddenly catapulted back into part 1 of Denji chainsaws reffing, throwing himself face first into the just like guts of his enemies. Oh my god, it's so beautiful.
It gets interrupted in the middle by the cockroach devil holding up, because this thing is like multiple stories tall, takes a break in the middle of the fight, holding, like, Chainsaw, you are part human. Why do you side with them, though? You could be full demon and do whatever you want. But no, if you're going to play superhero, I have a trolley problem for you. In this hand, a young boy with a life ahead of them. In this hand, a car full of 5 old people. Which will you save?
And he drops them.
It's the classic sadistic choice. And Denji makes the Denji choice of, well, I could waste time saving individuals, or I could stop the main threat.
well, it's also like I wouldn't date either of these people, so I don't care.
I would date the cat.
I just love how like One Punch Man this fight is, because there is a set of pages where the cockroach devil grabs Denji, throws him into a building, leaps into it, and does like a huge hammer fist blow that blasts apart like several stories of this skyscraper.
See, but Sam, there's a big difference. Saitama's in it for being a hero and doing the right thing. Denji's just in it for the pussy.
Denji's in it for chicks.
I will say though, I do really like this from a character perspective for Denji because it really does come off, and like this is also reinforced by the nature of Denji's goal as it's stated by Denji himself. We'll get into that in a bit. It really does like reinforce this idea that like Denji at his best in part 1 he was really embracing like this superhero identity, the sort of save the day. And it's like he was presented with the sadistic choice and picked the third option because, collateral damage is going to happen anyway. So I'll just minimize that. Like, I'm not going to save the car or the kid. I'm going to stop more problems like that from happening. And, it ends on the joke with the cat, and it's like, yes, that absolutely was like Denji valued the cat more than the people, but at the same time there is that aspect of that's the kind of hero that Denji is, and he really is a proper superhero in this otherwise crapsack world, which he's not exactly Superman or anything, but it's like it sort of reinforces the good place that he ended part 1 at.
I also like how we can see there's been a little bit of like character aggression isn't the word I'm looking for. Like negative character growth might be a better term. Like the fame has clearly gone to Denji's head. And
Yeah.
like the hero he was at the end of part 1, he's just like, well, I'm not fighting women who are emotionally abusing me anymore, so I do what I want.
I do what I want.
Yeah, you can still see the sort of unambiguous heroism that's guiding him at a core level so deep even he doesn't see it. Layered on top of that is the exact same Denji he's always been, stunted, simple, and direct.
I just love the like pitch black kind of comedy of Denji. He takes the third option. We get the super fucking awesome 2-page panel of him tearing the cockroach devil's head in half. He's doing a flip. He's got that chainsaw legs going. It's so rad. Oh my god, Denji's back. Yes. Turn the page, the corpse of the student in the burning car. It's just, oh god.
A very visceral version of the student too, because it's like his dead, lifeless face and like a car full of old people burning, and it's just like, yeah, that's Denji. He didn't care about the collateral damage at all.
Yeah,
nope.
And
there was already collateral. Why care about this extra collateral?
Yep,
I'm not the one who killed those people.
Yep.
But there's a little kitty hanging from the edge of the roof, and he goes over and picks it up, and he's like, "There's a cat too, dude." And in yet another act of heroism, Chainsaw Man saved a cat from the cockroach devil.
We've had a lot of excitement, with Denji back and everything. And we've got a press tour to do when we come back. So how about we take a nice little break right here, and when we come back, we can go through the greatest 2 chapters in this entire bit, and then every other chapter in this arc.
Yep.
We'll dovetail quickly into Kill la Kill before we wrap up.
Be right back after this, folks. And welcome back to the show, folks. Where last we left off, the man is back! It's Denji the Chainsaw Man! Having,
Whoa, who's this Denji?
No, we're here to talk about Chainsaw Man, the hero.
It is sort of funny that, like, for a moment, before about the halfway point of this chapter, it's almost like, are they gonna do a bait and switch where, like, Chainsaw Man actually isn't Denji? You see like the very heavy back and forth. There's someone in a Chainsaw Man mascot costume with a sign that says secondhand clothing 30% off. And
then a blimp that says Chainsaw Man is a man-eating devil.
And then it goes to let's ask the citizens what they think, and it goes back and forth, as you'd expect.
We get my favorite panel, which is a guy with a little kid saying, "Chainsaw Man, I'm a huge fan. Too gory for kids, though."
What about the panel that says it's American propaganda? It's not real.
Oh, this slew of pages is spectacular. Each one's prime reaction image.
Some of them are also very clearly just reactions to Chainsaw Man, the manga.
Yeah. It's too popular. It takes me off.
Then there's the guy, that chainsaw fellow is stealing Devil Hunter's jobs.
Boomer, man. The boomer in the business suit that said that. Oh, God, I died.
And then...
It's American propaganda. I love that guy.
He's so emphatic.
And they're like doing man on the street interviews with all these people. And then they get to Denji, who proceeds to use his 30 seconds to quickly try and answer as many of those questions as possible while still pretending to be anonymous.
And there was one cute girl who's like, "Hey, Chainsaw Man, if you're watching, give me your number." And at the end of his little rant, he's like, "But BTW, just my guess, but Chainsaw Man's number is 34. Okay, that's it. Too much. We're cutting you off, kid."
We'll cut that one out.
I love that he speaks in internet lingo. He goes BTW, FYI.
Well, I mean,
Great.
He is a teenager of this age.
yeah,
so-
he is a teenager. He might not be able to read and write, but he knows what's hip with the kids.
Well, he's finally beginning to be socialized, so he needs to catch up on teenager culture.
Yeah, I mean, technically, he is the kids.
And there's another glorious panel of the news crew like, "All right, let's give a chant for Chainsaw Man from the crowd. Chainsaw Man! Chainsaw Man!" And Denji behind the camera striking a heroic pose like, "Yeah, the people love me."
He's such a dork.
It's that meme of in the corner like, "Nobody knows I'm Chainsaw Man."
This is where we get the reveal specifically for
Denji and everyone on this podcast except Matt.
Yeah.
He's got very distinctive earrings. I don't know how you didn't recognize him.
I'm sorry, he appeared in the same arc as Kobeni Car, so there are more important
Exactly.
things to focus
Kobeni
on.
Car is the main character of so
Yep.
many.
Appeared in the same chapter as Kobeni Car. He kills
Yeah.
the guys running away from the car accident.
But Kobeni Car.
Kobeni's car does not make it to part 2.
Alas and alack.
But to make up for it, he offers Denji treats. Ice cream and orange juice and a whole cake.
Let's go to a cafe. I'm broke. It's my treat. And immediately next panel, Denji ordering everything on the menu.
Hard cut to Denji having accepted because it's Denji.
He's always down for a free meal.
So yeah, can you believe that we ended up at the same school? Crazy coincidence, right? Stop stalking me.
It really does go to like, I love moments like this for Denji because it shows that like the reason he acts like a moron most of the time is because he is so severely stunted. He's not stupid. He knew exactly what was going on the instant this all started. He just doesn't care.
He's got higher priorities than one weirdo.
Like the ladies.
Yeah, Hirafume's entire bit with going to this cafe is to like play the spy game of like, oh yes, it sure would be weird if something like he was expecting for some reason them both to be playing the game of keeping up appearances. And then Denji's just like, I don't care. And he's just like, well, that makes this negotiation a lot easier. I don't want you turning into Chainsaw Man, but I'll accept you not being publicly Chainsaw Man. That cool? No.
Okay, so if you don't agree to this, then I'm gonna take all these utensils so you can't have your cake. Denji cuts the cake with a karate chop and starts eating it with his hands.
You forget you're negotiating with Denji. Denji is a monster.
The look on his face. He's eating the cake and he's so smug.
I don't know what he expected. He knows Denji, doesn't he? Of course Denji would do this.
Denji's looking at him like, what are you gonna do? Stop me? No, idiot.
You're gonna go get that guy who can stop me? Michael doesn't exist?
Look, okay, I literally can't negotiate with you. Look, why are you even doing this? You're clearly not an altruistic guy. You really don't seem to have like a moral compass you're following. So this isn't like you wanting to be a hero. Why are you doing this? And then she's just like, oh, why am I like being Chainsaw Man and fighting? I want people to find out I'm Chainsaw Man, because then the ladies are gonna love me.
He's so perplexed by this. He has no response.
He just leans back, rubbing his chin as Denji shovels cake into his face.
I
Yeah, you shovel that cake, Benji.
I was unprepared for this entire series of responses. You win.
He came from abject poverty where he had nothing. Absolutely nothing. You think silverware is going to stop this boy?
There is nothing you can take from me. Oh, well, that's kind of all I had.
Well, he wasn't there for the infamous kiss, so he doesn't know that Denji will eat anything.
I do think that there is something to be said, though, about the fact that, like, it would honestly be really easy for Denji to actually expose his identity. And I think it does speak to a more genuine heroism buried under his stunted perspective.
There's that, and there's also the fact that he wants to make it an ideal meet cute.
Sort of like defending the better angels of Denji's nature. There is something to be said also that he very overtly thinks it's more fun if he's trying not to get exposed, but gets exposed anyway. Like that's more entertaining to Denji. So that's the way that, like, he takes it.
Plus, it's not cool if he just comes out and reveals it. It needs to be caught, and he needs to be cool and pretending he's not into it. So it's like, oh, well, you wanted to know my secret identity. I guess I'll tell you. Because he wants to feel wanted.
Yeah.
If he's just going like, please know I'm Chainsaw Man, that's him begging for attention.
For attention and validation.
He's done for so often, like, he's done with that. Now he's just going to be an asshole.
Yep.
You deserve it. You saved the world. You're good.
He's sick of being nice. Now he wants to go ape. Wasn't he already going ape? Shut up. I really like the start of the next chapter, which is you're throwing a temper tantrum because Chainsaw Man was right there and I couldn't get him.
And he saved us.
I also really want to point out the previous chapter ends with Denji just so happy and just digging into some cake. And then we cut to Yor throwing her temper tantrum and she's wearing a shortcake hoodie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they're setting up the ship.
Awesome.
But the other fun thing I like about this chapter, and why it's called this doesn't come up until the very end of the chapter, but I love this chapter title because it is called Spoiler. We do also get a bit of Yoru's backstory of why they, just because the War Devil is taking on Asa's form, doesn't necessarily why they hate Chainsaw Man so much. Apparently, the War Devil and Chainsaw Man had fought in the past, and because Chainsaw Man just keeps getting back up, the War Devil lost, and by the time they'd regained consciousness, Chainsaw Man had already eaten a chunk out of their body, reducing the existence of war.
Or whatever Chainsaw Man eats from a devil, it's erased.
So there hasn't been a war since the World War, the only one that happened.
The Great War.
Because, as revealed by Makima's monologue last time, apparently Chainsaw Man also ate the Nazi devil or something.
Oops.
No, it's don't you know what happened to the Nazis? And then Kishiba's got the great line, what the fuck's a Nazi?
So good.
My point exactly.
war became this fictional thing in movies and video games. There's not been a real one. The actual horrors of war have been forgotten, and that's just making me weaker and weaker because of Chainsaw Man. So that's why I need to kick his ass.
And then there's a really poignant moment. At this rate, everyone will forget me. And Asa, are you afraid of being forgotten? Beat. And Yoru has dodged the question by going to sleep.
It's like, man, I'm so happy for Denji. He's finally getting his life together. He's out from under the heel of people who will abuse and oppress it and manipulate him. I'm so glad he's doing all right. Literally, the next panel is him being used as a chair by a girl at school.
I think he has a
He's in.
type.
He's into it.
Yeah, my boy is charging 1 yen a minute.
5 yen. 5 yen a minute to be used as a chair.
But ladies.
Which he also then acknowledges later, it's not about the money.
He's just like no, he's not like, he just is a simp.
Because he gets paid by Hirofumi to be used as a chair. He's like, you are pretty comfortable. But you could probably charge 100 yen. And then she's just like, it really wasn't about the money.
Chicks, man, chicks.
I'm not gonna let a dude sit on me. Here's like 1,000 yen.
Crap, that is money. I do like money.
You know, it's at this point I do wonder whatever happened to the Devil Hunter agency that Denji was a part of. Like, this is the part where I was really starting to consider, like, shouldn't he still be working for them?
Well, I don't think so, because I'm pretty sure the public safety committee, I thought that was built around Makima.
Yeah, she carved it out for herself, essentially.
It was the specific, like, special squad that they had that used human and devil, like, team-ups and the weird human-devil fusions like Denji that Makima had created.
And that entire division was run by Makima. And I thought the strong implication was she controlled all of the Japanese government.
Well, yeah, because Control Devil. Yeah, it's one of those ones where I feel like even with Makima gone, I feel like Denji should still be under the purview of the Japanese government, which, like, it's one of those things left, unanswered thus far, I guess.
I think until in part 2 we get confirmed that the public safety division still exists, I'm assuming that was just part of Makima's plan. Because the weird thing is, Hirafume says he's working for an unnamed other organization, and if he was still for the public safety division, he'd just tell Denji that because they used to work together.
Yeah,
but he did.
Becomes
So
something
he's working
else.
he's working for someone else who has motivations for Denji not to become Chainsaw. So something's going on there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sort of what I'm getting at, because, like, even with the elements of the special division of public safety being part of Makima's plan, it still does seem strange to me that Denji was just left out in the wind. Which, that's the mystery that God, I cannot remember his name for the life of me.
Kishibe?
No,
Pretty boy.
The pretty boy, yeah.
Hirafume.
Hirafume.
Yoshida, if you want his first name.
Yeah, the whole mystery that Yoshida is sort of like pressing to the audience is what has happened in the time since Makima has been taken out of the picture. Because, like, obviously, she had so much control and sway in the special division, but, like, just letting Denji loose doesn't seem like a good idea.
Yeah. Just letting that boy go out there and do what he wants.
I'm genuinely wondering who's left is the thing. Because the final fight is Kishibe and Denji killing all of Makima's puppets. Like,
So who is still there? Maybe that explains why the city has gone to such The control devil is gone. The wheels are off.
Oh, there's only private devil hunters now.
Yeah.
Mm.
And like teen clubs, obviously.
Yes.
Those are important.
Also, I love the little bit of world building we get in the middle. By I think Hirafume says it. How this is the largest high school in all of Tokyo, and it has so many empty classrooms. Devils will sometimes just spawn in them. And it's like that's terrifying.
Yep.
Talk about a crapsack world.
That's probably why they have a fire escape plan for devils, which proves middlingly effective.
Oh.
But we get another all-time Denji line where Hirafumi's trying to negotiate with him, and it's like, look, okay, is there anything I can get for you that will have you not reveal yourself as Chainsaw Man? Yeah, I need a girlfriend. Okay, I can help you get a girlfriend. What's your type? Girls who are desperate for a boyfriend. Huh. Oh, right. There was that weirdo I met the other day.
She seems desperate for boyfriend.
This scene.
This scene is so good.
This is every time you have a friend in high school who says they're gonna help you hook up with a girl and just like, yeah, no, I'll be a good wingman, and they proceed to just be a terrible wingman. They proceed to do nothing but make it the most awkward interaction between three people possible.
Just push him together a little closer. There you go. Yay!
Hey, she likes planes. My father died in a plane crash. Oh, jeez.
So yeah, immediately cut to Yoshida, Denji, and Asa having a very awkward rooftop lunch. This is kind of my secluded antisocial hangout point. Why are you guys here? Cafeteria was too crowded. Anyway, where's Yuko? Absent with an injury. So, heard you got saved by Chainsaw Man. Yep. Denji, an N.
Meanwhile, Denji is wearing a t-shirt that says Chainsaw Man. Not an officially licensed one that we see people in the public wearing. He has just written Chainsaw Man on the top of his white t-shirt.
Oh, I love this kid. But the conversation is progressing not great because Asa really didn't like Chainsaw Man. These days, she's pretty neutral. Why did you hate him? Well,
don't worry. Denji can take anything you say to him.
I can.
I mean, the simple fact is, yes, Denji, you can, but you are right to see that as presumptuous of him to just say that about you. Oh, he's
for
learning.
a friend. What do you think about Chainsaw Man? Asking for a friend.
And everything she says about why she doesn't like him, Denji responds to as a deeply personal insult.
Mostly because it is. And in some cases, it's an accurate reflection of Denji's character flaws.
Doesn't he eat people? He's a devil. Eat people? No way. And even if he did, it was the one time.
Oh my god, my reaction to that. Because my immediate thought is like, Denji, did you experiment with eating a person? No, he's referring to that.
Yep, he's referring to Makima.
He's referring to that. Which is, it's one of those ones where it's like, that has to count, but does that count? But it has to count, doesn't it?
It absolutely counts.
It was for a good reason.
Extenuating circumstances, but yeah, it counts. It has to count, doesn't it?
It was a bad lady.
Oh
I was really fancy about it, but no, I still ate a person.
I made like steak and chili and whatnot.
It was really good. I'm actually a pretty good cook.
It was a whole thing.
And Asa gets really frustrated.
Yeah, she's just like, oh, what are you, some kind of Chainsaw Man super fan? Jeez, wow. Not even willing to point out the own flaws in your series? Weird.
Well, you know what? Fine, I'll just say it. I am Chainsaw Man. Yeah, okay, loser.
That frame, loser. Just shatters whatever psyche Denji has.
Oh, I love the stupid smile on Denji's face, but you can see the soul leave his eyes through like
Yes.
3 panels of him going like, he doesn't drop the like dumb smile like, yeah, I'm Chainsaw Man, and then the reaction of just like, oh no, that didn't work.
She legitimately thinks you're a loser. You suck.
Ugh.
That means there's more opportunity for me. I win.
But hold on.
There you go.
We got Yoru coming in clutch, being like, yo, homegirl. That guy just said he's Chainsaw Man. Look, War Devil, I know you're an idiot, but like Chainsaw Man wouldn't just admit they're Chainsaw Man. But then Yoru's like, but hold up, girl. Hold up. That boy wanted to date you. Oh, shoot. You got a point.
I love it. I love it. It's this whole segment.
Date
just
crazy
killed me.
guy who thinks he's Chainsaw Man and is obviously insane super fan. Or, I mean, from Asa's point of view.
I love it so much. He just said he's Chainsaw Man. Do you really believe the actual Chainsaw Man would just say that? Yes! The irony is so thick you can cut it with a knife.
Or a chainsaw.
How Asa then gets out of Yoru being like, nope, I'm going to take over with just, hey, you're smart. How about you come up with the plan of how we're going to attract a devil to the school so Chainsaw Man can come, the real Chainsaw Man can come and visit. While you're thinking of that, I'm going to go hang out with my friend. But no, you should be doing a thing. It's like, nope, I gave you a brain teaser. Crap, you're right. And then she's just thinking, yeah, okay, I think I've got her pretty tamed right now.
Because of course, as war itself, Yoru isn't particularly forward-thinking. Just a being of violence, and one desperately trying to be remembered. So, actually thinking, coming up with a plan.
Sam, she's not the strategy devil.
Exactly.
This is Ares, not Athena we're talking about.
Basically.
Asa decides to go visit her friend who's hanging out in her Home Depot shed with the folding lawn chairs. I'm going to assume what she brought was, she brought some soft drinks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But, counterpoint, they never show the label and they stay in the bag the entire time. And they proceed to hang out by just sitting in 2 folding lawn chairs in front of their trailer. They got some tall boys.
It's very King of the Hill. Oh
Yep.
my god. I
Yep.
love this. This is another like Fujimoto classic with, 2 characters just hanging out, having a time, talking about stuff, real life things. We're friends, but if we want to become besties, we need to trade secrets.
2 girls sitting in a front yard 5 feet apart because they're not gay.
I've got a lot of secrets, but I really don't think I can share any of them. Oh, come on, Asa, spill one. Fine. There was one time when I was a small kid, I peed myself and said it was sweat, and the class played along to be nice. Oh, wow. That is a riot. I'm laughing so much it's hurting my injured leg. Anyway, here's my secret. I killed a man.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, my neighbor.
That's a funny joke.
Oh, yeah, no, it's because he was gambling, even though he was on welfare disability. That's not a joke. The body's in my backyard. Want to go see?
A dead body?
Hey, kids, want to see a dead body?
You're really underplaying how this is paneled out as like it's 2 panels side by side going down the strip, and there's just so much silence, culminating in a 2-page spread of both of them sitting in their like lawn chairs 5 feet apart from each other, staring off into space, not looking at the other. And it's just so awkward.
It's so awkward.
Well, Asa even comments, she's like, this is kind of awkward. I'm not used to, like, I don't know how to, like, navigate these situations, so...
I just love the series of panels. Yuko's expression never changes from like bland neutrality. Meanwhile, Asa, you can see very slowly turning over what was said in her mind, like, that can't be real, can it?
Like, she clearly takes it as a joke at first.
Well, Asa doesn't know how friends work. So she probably is like, is this a friend thing?
Oh, no, there's actually a body. It's in my backyard. You want to see it? No. Anyway, since we're friends, and we're besties now, you won't tell a soul that I killed a man, and I won't tell anyone about your secrets, like that time you peed yourself, or how you killed the teacher and class president, or about Yoru.
What?
That's too many secrets.
Oh yeah, I contracted with the Justice Devil. I can read minds now. What?
Nothing can hide from justice.
It's so it's so out of nowhere. Just I contracted with the Justice Devil. I can read minds now.
I'm just saying, even if we're besties, this seems a little uneven because you've just listed 3 things and I only told you 1.
It's great because I don't really understand people.
Aren't unauthorized contracts illegal? It's just like, well, I'm not the legality devil. And as long as it's in the name of justice, it's fine.
Yeah, that's a different department, girl.
And then she deadass just looks Asa and thereby the reader in the eye and says, I'm gonna get rid of your bullying problem. Don't come to school tomorrow.
She literally does. You're cool. Don't go to school tomorrow, me. Like,
Oh, y'all know where this is going.
I'm just telling you, the TV news told me the gun devil was just made up in order to take away your rights. You know what? I said that out loud, and then I realized the gun devil was just made up to take away your rights.
Did Columbine happen in this universe?
The gun devil exists.
We First of all,
Oh, you know,
just
I
because
don't think it's 1990. I think we
Yeah.
went through this. It's like late 80s because of technology. Oh, but they have they don't have smartphones.
they have cell phones, they don't have smartphones though, right?
Mhm.
Someone's on a
Yeah.
cell phone.
I can't remember if they have cell phones.
I think
No,
that's
they do have cell phones because there's the girl in the press circuit who's like, "Hey, Chainsaw Man,
Call
give me
me.
your number," and she's holding up a cell phone, like a flip phone.
A flip phone, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I think the timeline is so screwed up because of the nature of how devils affect reality. It's
Yeah.
it's a completely different timeline.
I know there's a quip about America having the most fear of the gun devil or something, but like I don't think that matters. That could also just be America has the most guns, so like what does that
Yeah.
mean?
Either way,
I'm
there
gonna
is
assume no.
probably not. Either way, we have an imminent incident about to happen, and Asa's walking home like, this is my fault, isn't it? I mean, yeah, she
Always
said as
is.
much.
It always is.
Like, seriously, just don't go to school tomorrow. That's gonna draw a devil attack there's gonna draw out Chainsaw Man anyway.
The thing you told me, the plan you gave to me, it looks like it's happening. You should be happy about this.
My favorite part is that Yoru didn't even come up with the plan.
Oh.
It just happened. She just lucked into it.
Yours just like she's gonna do something stupid tomorrow, and then we get to turn her into a weapon. Wait, what? Yeah, no, I'm taking control here, and then kicks Asa out so that Asa's hallucination is just like, oh, this is bad. Yes, it is.
You're not gonna talk her out of anything. She's gonna go to school, kill your bullies. We're gonna go to school, kill her, and all that devil activity will draw out Chainsaw Man. And since we'll have killed Yuko, we'll have a really powerful weapon to beat his ass with. It's gonna be great.
Oh.
Everything's coming up, War Devil.
So we get the scene in the night of Yuka burning something in her backyard.
Something suspiciously human-sized.
I don't know if that's the body or if that's a further sacrifice she's making for tomorrow to go okay. Because she definitely has more than just the ability to read minds the next day. And I'm wondering if she went out and killed more people.
But like, Parque no las dos. Like, it's roughly human-sized. So her sacrificing more people to the Justice Devil for greater power, and her looking down at the body lit from below by the flames, real, like the devil presiding over hell, just like, Asa, I'll save you. I'll kill all the bad guys, just like Chainsaw Man. Cut to a flock of crows flying over the city.
Yeah, because she'd already mentioned earlier that she was a big Chainsaw Man fan.
And then she announces that she's going off to school. Like she's got family there that she would say that to?
That's her neighbor. She hobbles into school too on her crutches. And like she gets to school late because everyone's in class like taking notes. And Yoru's just waiting there with a katana in the hallway. And I'm like, well, okay, I guess this is what school security is.
I mean,
like-
she did have that for the Devil Hunter Club thing, but like, yeah, it's doesn't make it much better, does it?
Oh, nice to finally meet you, Yoru. Oh, okay. I see what's going on. Anyway, look, just let me kill all the bullies and then we can fight.
That's a pretty cool panel of them talking in the hallway, but seen from outside, and their speech bubbles are within the hallway, so it kind of
Yeah.
has the effect of being muffled. I just really
Mhm.
enjoyed that. It was nice paneling.
Oh yeah, that was super cool. But it makes me wonder, why was that like that?
Is someone watching?
Yeah, because that's clearly a POV shot of someone who is outside those windows looking in. And I think it's either the Justice Devil, who we actually haven't seen yet, but is somewhere in the school, or it's the other devil that shows up later, who might be the Justice Devil. But considering they refer to Asa, probably actually the War Devil, as little sister, it might be another one of the horsemen of the apocalypse.
It could be. I also think it might just be cool, like it just might be manga panels trying to mimic like action movie camera work, because we got the dynamic swoop around the two combatants, and then what this page is like from outside zooming in for a close up on her head. So it's kind of
Mhm.
like one of those long pullbacks, like vroom.
And honestly, with Fujimoto, it could be either. It could be both.
It could be both, yeah.
Oh, but anyway, the inevitable happens, and she reveals her fiend form, which is justice related somehow, I guess. I don't know.
No, I really like this devil design because she's this like weird octopus creature. She loses her eyes, her like brain is exposed, and she's got all these like leg tentacles. And I really like this design because, as we see later in her fighting style, she just kind of flails about with her legs. And per our
Mhm.
discussion earlier, where the fear of justice in this case is justice being turned against you or justice being indiscriminate, the lashing legs cause so much collateral damage. And that her arms become long and knobbly, like the long arm of the law. She's literally blind as justice is meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
She's literally blind as justice is meant to be, but she's also flailing, and rather than being impartial, she's just indiscriminate.
Exactly. I love this devil design so much. It's so cool. But we do
Anyway,
get
they start fighting.
they do start fighting.
Like they're conversing, sort of a tacit attempt at avoiding the fight that both of them really want the fight, because it ends with Yuko saying, I like Asa, I hate you. And that's what leads into the transformation, and the fight happens immediately after that.
It's kind of a fight, but not really, because Yuka's way too powerful to be phased by most of the things Yoru is capable of doing. Yoru's kind of all she has on her person is a bunch of pencils, so she's throwing those as like pencil tridents, and they're not doing much. So basically what's happening is she's being deflected by Yuka as she's just going through the crowd of people who are now getting evacuated by like the fire drill. And this is not a drill. Which one of you put the raw chicken cutlets? Oh, right, I can read minds. It was you. And then gets a trident thrown at her, redirects the trident, grabs it, throws it straight through one of the girls who dumped chicken cutlets in the thing. And I'm like, okay, well.
At which point, the Devil Hunter school club arrives.
They're the professionals. Don't worry, classmates. We will stall for time until officials can get there. They almost die within 2 panels.
Oh yeah,
Like they
Junior
last
Devil.
2 pages.
They last for 2 pages only because Yuko's like, "Oh, I don't want to kill innocents." Oh, wait a minute, you're ganging up on me like 4-on-1. You're bullies. I'm killing you now.
Which point she does.
Like her attention falls back on Yoru, who's just like, look, I'm just gonna tell you this right now. In a one-on-one fight, I am literally unbeatable. I have perfect knowledge of what you're thinking. I can do any plan you can do. Literally, there's nothing you can do, and Yoru's just like, well then, I have the only plan I can do. It's Asa's responsibility. Whoop.
You're welcome.
The leave it to Asa plan won't work before Yoru's even done that.
Because I love this. Her plan, like her mind reading, still works. Like she's like, I know exactly what that plan is. Giving it a code name doesn't stop me from understanding it. My power is that good. But
Asa is given control of the body back and it's like, you've killed a bunch of people. Not that many, like 3 or 4. The Gun Devil killed 1 million people, and I've only killed the bad ones. Okay, sure.
Yeah, and Asa's not having any of it.
Just further driving home the point of the real fear of the Justice Devil isn't the concept of justice itself, but it's the fact that justice is the perfect excuse for anyone in pain to cause more pain.
Put you down. We killed people. That's
and
bad.
then right there, Asa starts to get serious.
Yoru, tell me how to make weapons. Touch something that belongs to you and call its name.
And then we get to the Kill a Kill
Don't
section
lose
of
your
our reading.
Of the reading. Love it.
But yeah, she does have her magical girl moment.
My favorite part is that when she turns her uniform into a sword and it it kind of looks like the Buster sword from Final Fantasy VII.
Gosh, it does.
The explanation for this bit is that it was the last thing that her mother had given her before she died, so it is something that was earnestly valuable to her.
And thus more powerful than you should ever imagined. It's very sentimental.
Yep, because just touching the blade in order to batter it out of Asa's hands is enough to segment Yoru like 1,000 times over.
But before
Which
we get to that, bit, there is the important element of Yoru mentioned. Truth be told, I didn't really do this for you. Which again, it's one of those classic Chainsaw Man moments where it's like almost surely to some extent it was legitimately for Asa's sake because she actually did care about Asa, but there is also this like rather prominent overtone of she's a Chainsaw Man fangirl. She wants to be like her hero.
But can it be both? You know?
Yeah, that's the thing. I tend to read a lot of these characters in the context of the more noble aspirations are a legitimate undercurrent.
Unfortunately, Yuka then has a scene later where she explicitly says, no, there is no noble undercurrent. I'm actually kind of sad about that. I'm just going to admit to being a person. Well, that's a good first step, I guess.
One thing that, I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but Yoru had said earlier
Impossible.
that one thing Yoru said earlier was the more guilt you feel about destroying something to turn it into a weapon, the stronger it becomes. But she might
Makes
have
sense.
just
Also, with that also makes sense for the uniform because I was thinking like because it was so sentimental, but also that could be transitioned into guilt because she destroyed her uniform that her mom bought for her.
Yeah, I was thinking it was like sentimentality, and Yoru just didn't understand strong feelings of attachment outside of guilt because, war.
Yeah. But I mean, it could be both in a sense. They're both. I could see both playing into that.
Again, the Chainsaw Man classic. It could be that thing, or it could be this thing. It's probably both.
Is it a metaphor? Probably.
Sure.
And yours like, holy shit, that worked. Good job, kid. It's like, yeah, but like, I didn't mean to turn her into sushi. Oh wait, her head's still alive. There's got to be a way I can save her, right? Quick, there has to be a way to. You want to save her? Yes, random girl. I do want to save her. I can do that for you. Do you want me to? Sure. All right. Anything for my little sister. And she's got the fucked up Devilman eyes.
Yeah.
It's strategy devil.
Well, no, she's probably one of the four horsemen. She's
Yeah. Yeah,
or
probably.
she's probably Justice.
It could be Justice.
It's most likely either Justice or one of the other four horsemen. The little sister implies one of the four horsemen.
Yes, but not pestilence.
Oh, but she's wearing earrings that kind of look like scales.
Yeah, Justice makes more sense from the context of the scene, but the little sister comment makes more sense from the for it to be a horseman. I don't think we have enough information to say.
Are you saying
yet.
sister of justice, or are you saying
No. She's calling. Well, technically, at that moment, she's calling Asa little sister, not
Yeah.
Devil.
You know what? Yeah, I take it back. I think she's a horseman.
So she's not speaking to Asa.
Well, there's also the context of all the times that Makima talked past Denji to Puchetta.
Right.
Because they don't see them as people. That's devils just talk to.
They only see the devil possessing them.
So, like, in all honesty, again, I think the context of that one particular line heavily implies horseman. The context of the rest of the scene implies justice. So I think it's too hard to say who it is yet, because it could be either.
And then there's the question of, is it plague, famine, or death? Given that healing Yuko turns her into a humongous kaiju, it actually doesn't.
It doesn't answer that question.
Doesn't
Not
answer
at
the
all.
question.
That doesn't help at all.
Which is why Justice would make sense, but I don't know.
Are you saying that it's? I'm trying to understand if Justice Devil is currently incapacitated. The Justice Devil could still make multiple contracts, right?
Yeah. The Justice Devil is physically at the school.
We just don't know where.
That's why I was confused, because you keep on throwing Justice, and then you're talking about like a sibling relationship, and I'm like, Justice can be in multiple places, yes, but is still one entity. So I'm trying to think of who would be a sibling, quote unquote, to Justice, and that's why I'm confused.
But either way, the important point being, Yuko is restored and made gigantic and decides that, hey, school bullying can't happen if there's no school.
That is true.
I'll just destroy all the schools in Japan and ow!
Girl, stop thinking. Thinking is not your strong point, and just stop.
Speaking of someone for whom thinking is not their strong point,
who should appear at the devil attack but the Chainsaw Man?
What Chainsaw Man? No, it's just me, normal everyday Denji. But this is a pretty weird situation. I guess there's no choice but me to reveal my secret identity.
Notably, only as soon as a girl is in danger.
Simp.
He's a simp, but he ain't a wimp.
Yep. Denji revs up. The girl who was in danger goes, Chainsaw Man? Ta-da! Yuko fangirls, not wanting to fight her hero, but Chainsaw Man does not give a shit and goes on the attack. Right, I can just read his mind. Wait a minute, he's literally only thinking about how he can turn this into a meet cute. He's acting without thinking for the fight.
Yes, he's Denji. Hello.
I can't use my mind reading powers to win the fight if I can't read what he's doing from his mind. It's like how Denji defeated Santa Claus with the power of pure idiocy. Darkness can't defeat me if I become a being of light. Set self on fire.
But the second she sees Chainsaw Man, Yoru takes over the unconscious Asa's body. It's just like, well, okay, I'm fighting him.
Chainsaw Man. Yeah? Face me. Do you remember who I am? Oh, sorry. I'm just looking at the tits of that girl who's in her underwear. Who are you? What was that? Oh, right. That girl I saved. Hey, I'm Chainsaw Man. Ah!
Don't eat me! Flees in terror.
Oh, come on. I keep saying I don't eat people.
And is literally about to get murdered by Yoru from behind. He's not paying attention. He could legitimately die right here.
But Yoshida, savior of the day.
But the power of flipping off the audience.
I think he's supposed
It's
to
one
be
of the hand gestures
like cone, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the
It's
same.
ju- it's
He
just-
summons parts of the octopus devil.
Yeah.
It's not Maki's type of contract.
Yeah. I just find the paneling amusing.
It does look like he's flipping the bird. But Denji is pulled away by a tentacle.
I told you I'd stop you by force if you need be, but it was such a natural reveal.
Meanwhile, Yoru, is he saying I'm not even worth his time? Show yourself, Chainsaw Man!
So surprisingly, only 4 kids died in that.
I thought way more would have, considering the counterattack against the Junior Devil Hunters.
Yeah.
Nope. 3 of them and the 1 girl who got speared by a pencil. Literally, no one died off screen.
I guess the medical care of this world has got to be pretty good.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
They get plenty of practice.
We know devil flesh regenerates, so they probably have some sort of really advanced grafting departments in order to replace destroyed body parts.
I was gonna say, I wonder if you've got doctors who have made contracts with devils to do ridiculous healing.
The medical malpractice devil.
Oh, it could be like the body horror devil, which gives them the ability to generate body parts or something.
The Cronenberg devil. I can just take flesh. Oh, but turns out Asa's been having nightmares.
Nightmares of she's running through an alleyway and there's dead chickens littering the ground. She tries not to step on them, but they continue to coat the ground more and more until she's just about to hit the darkness at the end of the alley, and then she wakes up. Don't open the door, Asa.
Get a glass of water. Supposed to get a glass of water, and there's a knock at the door. And every time in Chainsaw Man, a good thing has happened when you've opened a door.
Yep, it's Yuko, who's like, "Don't open the door. I got away, but I've been turned into a devil. I might eat you." Opens door.
I don't care.
I mean, Asa is living up to what she was saying in her dying moment. She's living more selfishly. There was a smarter, better thing to do that would have been better for the people that Asa's responsible to, but she's doing what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got Yuka there wearing a hoodie. She's still totally devilified
out.
And she basically just tells Asa, "Hey, I kind of had a breakthrough earlier. I told you I was gonna save you, and I realized that wasn't me being your friend. That was me idolizing Chainsaw Man, wanting to be a hero, maybe even not so much idolizing him as desiring that love from people. And I'm realizing all the things I thought I was doing that were good for you were inherently selfish. And I'm probably not a great person."
Wow. Thank you for sharing.
And as she's saying all of this, one of her weird tentacle legs is subconsciously going to start choking Asa to devour her. Metaphors! the heavy hand of symbolism.
Again, the sort of there's the more empathetic read for the characters element to it's a very common undercurrent in Fujimoto's writing. Asa's response is to notice that Yuko is barefoot, so take my shoes. And I think that this is why it's fair to say that she's really beating up on herself because she's realizing the inherent selfishness that was the thick layer over the top. But she feels bad about it because, her intentions weren't as pure as she intended. I feel like that feeling of guilt proves that there is there was pure intentions there. It's just it doesn't matter when it gets so swallowed by the ugliness.
Mm-hmm.
And also, she's having the other problem where the mind reading she was given seems to be a little unconscious. So people's thoughts are flooding her head, and she's now getting to the point she doesn't know which were hers. And she's like, I'm apologizing to you, but I'm not even sure that's my idea.
I don't think that's actually genuinely me apologizing.
Or it might be, but it's like killing her neighbor. Like all those things were just ideas that popped in her head. But like, were those hers? Were those someone else's? Were those the justice? She doesn't know.
But look, anyway, just take my shoes. I don't need them. Well, if you don't need them, then sell them. And if you can't sell them, throw them away. Throwing my own line back at me. I can't believe you said something that embarrassing. And they're laughing together, laughing at how funny it is, despite how incredibly awful it is. All of the people that died, the actual murders that Asa committed, you're committed using her body, whatever. But Yuko takes the shoes and says, I'll return your shoes one day, and goes to leave and go about her life.
She has a relative who's a devil hunter that might be able to do something about this situation, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then it does the Fujimoto thing.
She gets resed.
She's jumping across the rooftops to freedom, and we then get a lovely panel of like day breaking and the 4 main characters all asleep. And then you're like, wait, no, is Yuko one of the people sleeping? And then you flip the page, her head has been decapitated.
Mm-hmm.
And her body is being eaten by Chainsaw Man.
Or something with Chainsaw Man's shadow.
Because Denji's asleep.
He's asleep with I think there's something rather poignant about the fact that there are a bunch of dogs around him.
Yep, Makima's dogs.
They make a point of like the arm is split and bleeding where the chainsaw arm blade would come out from, and it's very obviously like the Chainsaw Man like teeth and head chainsaw, but like it's in shadow.
Oh man, if it's some kind of jagged katana devil.
It's the sawfish devil.
No. Guys, here's my read. It's the Chainsaw Man devil.
Oh no.
What?
Yo!
Literally a devil born of the fear of Chainsaw Man.
Whoa, how far do we go?
That's my read.
There's a devil.
Editing Sam in the future, put the Inception bois here.
Yeah, the devil.
If we're not gonna get a copyright strike for the Kill la Kill theme song. We're gonna get a copyright strike for the Inception bois.
But it's a good bit.
That brings us to the end of the first arc of part 2 of Chainsaw Man, everybody. So as we like to do with shonens around here, how about we go around and everyone can favorite character, favorite fight. I think there's only like 2 fights, but sure, why not? Let's start at the end of the roster we normally do. Jay, who is your favorite character? And if you want favorite fight.
Sure. So as we all know, my favorite character, my dream boy, Denji. Because yes. Favorite fight, since there were really only 2, I would have to say Asa's first encounter with the Justice Devil. I think that was my favorite fight, just because it kind of really was a smooth introduction to the world that is Chainsaw Man, of just watching how beautifully eviscerated she was. I don't know. Yeah.
If you somehow picked up Chainsaw Man at part 2 without any of the part 1 reading, it is a great intro.
This is everything you can expect from this series.
Everything we've read in like this reading we did, realistically, you didn't need to read part 1 for.
Mm-hmm.
You gained some extra benefit, but fresh read, this is perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, the added drama of, our homeroom teacher was really in love with you, even though he was screwing me on the side. And yeah, you were the one hurdle of us having a relationship. Meanwhile, you're just morphing
Yeah.
into this huge, like, beast and slicing faces.
As someone who heard that audible gasp as she was reading that
Wait, what?
from the reveal that he was in love with the homeroom teacher, wanted to have sex with her, but he was already having sex with the other student.
By the way, that was the only part I was gasping about. Not like the actual transformation or the death. It
Yes,
was
I'm
just
aware.
that. Just that drama bomb.
Oh, okay. Sam, favorite character, favorite fight.
Oh, War Devil is my favorite character. She is great. The War Devil creates so many fantastic opportunities for both comedy and interesting character introspection by the way that she bounces off of Asa and the interesting dynamic of, being basically just being like the Jungian shadow, literally just Asa but more violent, more blunt and straightforward, whispering in her ear constantly. It is War Devil is fantastic. And for favorite fight, it's got to be Denji versus the Cockroach Devil, because what a way to reintroduce my boy.
I can dig it.
Absolutely peak. And I still think that Cockroach Devil going to like deliver the super blow on Chainsaw Man that blasts a skyscraper in half. It looks like it's out of One Punch Man.
Okay, Jacob, favorite character, favorite fight.
Man, it's really a toss-up, and in all honesty, for the same reasons, it's a toss-up between Asa and Denji, because they're both characters that I feel represent that sort of like nugget of empathy in this uncompromising look at, context doesn't matter, intent doesn't matter, results don't even really matter, that sort of nihilism, but like trying to twist it into positive nihilism sort of thing that Fujimoto does with pretty much most of his work. I feel like Denji, I like the way that his character evolved as of part 1, because in a lot of ways, he's in a really freaking healthy place relative to where he had been. He has also, regressed in some ways, as Matt mentioned. I think it's fair to say that he's regressed. As harsh as that might sound.
Taking up self-care. He's taking up self-care as the thing. Like, he's not.
Yeah.
He practices self-care by becoming worse.
In a lot of ways carried on the back of the context of how low he got near the end of part 1. I'd say that Denji is my favorite character, but Asa is actually, funnily enough, I think Asa and Denji are in some ways Jungian shadows of each other, the same way that Yoru and Asa are shadows of one another as well. So Denji by a narrow margin. As for favorite fight, I don't know. I none of the fights were like super thrilling. It was very much the character dynamics that carried this section, as I think it should for a reopener, as it were. I'll say I liked the fight in the school. I thought that had some pretty good choreography. It's not really the main focus of Chainsaw Man, but I liked some of the paneling of particularly Yoru. Trying to evade and getting a few hits in before getting overwhelmed.
I did like the camera work in the school fight. It was very interesting and kind of experimental at points. And if I find out later it was because someone was watching with binoculars on the side, I'm going to be angry.
Someone being creepy.
But
It
Matt
was
here.
me.
Oh, it was Jay. But Matt here. Favorite character, favorite fight. Geez. I gotta go with Asa. Denji's my boy, but like I love a character who just realizes they're a nerd and that everything's going wrong, and then has a sudden self-realization, maybe I should actually do something about it, and maybe I'm responsible for some of the like misfortune that's befallen me. And she kind of goes into the category of beating herself up about it a bit too much, but like she at least gets the self-realization of I'm not gonna just keep pretending like I am at a pit of misery that is like not my own making. And what am I gonna do about it now? And I really dig her because she's like, well, I'm stuck with this demon who's controlling my head. Oh, wait, no, she's easily distracted. I can probably work with this.
Asa's at that point where she's at self-realization, but not quite self-improvement. It's that really sweet middle ground.
Which is just rife for character stuff.
And as for favorite fight, I gotta go with the Asa versus the class president incarnation of the Justice Devil, just because 50 pages condensed into like such an amazing fight with just stupid mechanics. I love it. Like turning her teacher's still living head and spinal cord into a sword, and then ending the fight by making the head kiss the devil.
Yes. Gorgeous.
And then blowing it all up
with a literal hand grenade.
Oh, and the fact it ends with Yoru sitting down on the like mountain on the throne of entrails, going like, I'm gonna make Chainsaw Man vomit up nuclear weapons, and I'm like, oh my god,
what a statement!
Yeah,
what a power move!
It sets the scene. It's like, hey, by the way, we're having a new main character for part 2. Deal with it. Okay. I walked away from that first chapter 100% like, Fujimoto, you know what you're doing. Anyway, so this is the first part of part 2 at the end, and does anyone have any thoughts about the new direction of the plot, the different kind of point of view we've got going, and any theories about what might be going on? As always with Chainsaw Man, I abstain from these because I read ahead.
You're a little bit ahead of us.
Well, I've already given my hot take that we have the Chainsaw Man Devil, and I've
That's
explained
genius.
why.
That's genius, and I hope you're right.
Thank you. And I have explained that Asa and Yoru are my absolute favorites. I adore them so much. I'm glad they are the new like POV protag character set.
Yeah, as for me, predictions on the plot, not really much forming in the noggin yet. But boy, I gotta say, I think it was a really smart decision to pivot the way that it has with the new main characters, almost entirely because in a lot of ways, Asa is very, very, very much like Denji, but like without a lot of like the wooby stuff. Like she grew up in a place where she had her needs provided for. She had a more normal upbringing, but she has a lot of the same like character elements and character conflicts that Denji had, just from a different perspective. And the way that they relate to each other, and like having Denji, who has had so much character growth, he's changed so much from the first chapter. He is almost a completely different person, and yet still recognizably Denji. And having him as a supporting character to exist in contrast with Asa, the new protagonist, is a really good decision, because it lets you continue exploring the ideas and themes that are already core to the Chainsaw Man story in a new and fresh light that will allow the story to continue in a natural way. I love it when stories do this sort of thing, where you have Denji's full and complete story, and then a new story comes along. You don't need the previous story, but if you have it, you have extra context, which, takes something really cool and makes it even better. And, like stories that work onto them, like parts that work onto themselves, and keep that core identity. So I love the way that we've transitioned into a new protagonist.
Jay, any thoughts?
Actually, I hadn't thought about it too much, other than I feel that inevitably there will be some romantic tension that will happen, because Denji is a sucker. And I feel that while we do have a new main character, she's going to, I don't know. I am trying to stay tuned and keep my mind open. Yeah, so I predict that our new main character, Asa, is kind of going to grow into her own type of hero, if not kind of divulge into some character that's going to be similarly focal point of the universe as Chainsaw Devil has become. I feel like there's going to be a rise to prominence and there's going to be some kind of like convergence of power dynamic, if that makes sense.
Okay.
There is also the incredibly subtle metaphor of Denji eating cake, hard cut to Asa in a cake hoodie.
Yes,
Complaining about Denji.
There's going to be romantic tension, and I'm here for it. Because he deserves the world. He deserves to have a girlfriend finally.
Believe it or not, I don't think it's a spoiler to say Chainsaw Man might do weird romantic tension.
Hopefully he doesn't. Well, hopefully he doesn't eat this new one in the same way as the last one. There are other ways.
He doesn't view this girl as a sister, so
yes. So you're saying there's a chance? There's a chance.
Anyway, as always, it's probably a foregone conclusion, but we'll go around. Jay, would you continue reading Chainsaw Man?
I already have. I am getting caught up because only a few chapters left. So, as well.
Yeah, well, we are currently, I believe there are only like 8 chapters beyond where we stopped, so not a bad time. Jacob, would you continue reading Chainsaw Man?
Oh yeah, I'm very curious to see where this goes. Yeah, it's been on the list basically since our part 2, and hopefully I'll get back around to reading more than one chapter by the next time we do this. We'll see.
And Sam, would you continue reading Chainsaw Man?
Oh, sorry, what was that? I started chapter 112 already.
That sounds about right.
Yep. And obviously I'm up to date with it currently. So that's true no matter when you listen to this episode.
Oh, fantastic.
Yep. As always, we are the Over Manga Cast. If you enjoyed this episode and like to hear some more, we've got an amazing backlog of 80-something episodes at this point that you can listen to on your podcatcher of choice, or you can go to overmangacast.com where we have all the episodes up there. And we also have a lovely little form at the bottom if you want to leave a comment and send them directly to us. We also take recommendations and reviews wherever you want, but we also can receive them at overmangacast@gmail.com.
We're also on YouTube if you prefer that. The episodes are on a 2-week delay there, but hopefully you'll stop by and like, comment, and subscribe.
And of course, we are on all of your social medias where we are at OverMangaCast. And make sure to tune in next week where we're not quite done with killing the hell out of some demons yet. Because we are going back into Demon Slayer, chapter 100 through 127.
Ooh, the Swordsmith Village arc.
I'm excited about this because, as is well established, I love swords. Finding out more about weird magic sun metal swords is going to be pretty great.
Hopefully that's happening. I don't know.
we do not. So if you want to find out with us, read those chapters, and we'll see you next Thursday. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.